I've always been drawn to architecture, and I think the kind of play and interaction with light is what fascinated me at a very young age. And the terracotta heavily carved buildings in Manchester and the way the water collected in the grooves and that playfulness was a natural connection. And I think that link between architecture and maths and surface design has always played a big role and inspiration in my practice. Also, music is a very important part of my creative practice. I have it on all the time whilst working, as it's an aid to what I do whilst I'm in the studio. I never do the same design twice, because part of the process of all the hours I spend on it is revealing that design, and it's like almost once you've revealed it, you've done it. There's only ever been one other occasion where I've repeated a design, and that was a commission where I did research for the Hepworth Museum when it was being built, and the piece, the 3 months' work, blew up in the kiln. And because the design was very related to the research that I did actually make that piece again, and that's the first and only piece that the design's been repeated. I think once you've got over the excitement of revealing a design, you kind of move on to the next one, or the next form, or the next, next piece of work. I suppose as my work's developed, it's got a bit looser, it's got more curvilinear, so have I. But I think the technical side of my work is as important as the creative side of my work, because I think using mathematics to configure your design over a large form or a small form, I think for me the technical side plays a big part in my practice. I like many different materials. However, my first love was clay, but I've always, from a very young age, been quite inquisitive about different materials. So that was a natural progression within my work to want to challenge myself, my practice, I suppose, in seeing what the limitation of other materials were and how I could adapt them to working the way I work. A lot of work has been impulsed through looking at various different things, nature, architecture, different inspirations what come into our day-to-day lives, but none of my work is very political or has that kind of intensity, I suppose, that other art might have politically. And but Virtues of Unity, for me, because of a personal situation, whilst I was doing a residency in Pakistan, this idea of identity and belonging came apparent to me. Being brought up in Manchester and, called a foreigner and called various names to do with not belonging. And as an adult, I visited Pakistan in 2009, and I was really surprised to find the country I was born in and where my parents from. They saw me as an outsider and always introduced me in different institutions and universities as a foreigner from England. So in both places, you're kind of called a foreigner or made to feel like a foreigner. So this idea of belonging became really important to me at that moment in time. And when I came back to the UK, I started this installation, Virtues of Unity, looking at clay as this metaphor for the human race, which relating ourselves to this material, what's from the earth, and as we as human beings go back to the earth. So, and what kind of divides us as human beings, like the colour of our skin and texture and our hair, is apart from that, we're kind of made out of the same kind of DNA, and it's same with the clay bodies. No matter where you dig them out from around the world, each one of them has a different kind of texture, feel to it, and a different colour. So each one of them ends up the same as a fired ceramic piece. So the installation, each of the pieces is named after a virtue, and I think as a human race, it's one of the things that what consciously connects us as a race is the virtues that we live by, regardless of culture, religion, status, our background. These kind of innate kind of virtues that the kind of caring, giving, hope, all these kind of things are kind of like inbuilt in us, and what brings us together as a species. And as the installation grows and travels to different venues and different countries, that hopefully that connection and that understanding and that realization that we're all one, rather than concentrating on what divides us. Collecting the stories of how the clay was obtained is a really important aspect of the installation to me, creating a connection between people and places to the clay of the earth. This piece is part of the installation Virtues of Unity, and the clay was kindly sourced by a friend's friend. She found it difficult because a lot of Austrians use clay, which has been sourced in Germany or Belgium or French, because it's more user-friendly for sculpture and various different processes. But this particular clay that Ruth's friend Margareta was able to get has been sourced from a brick factory, and it's been dug out locally to the brick factory, and it's a low-firing clay like most bricks are. Also, with the Virtues of Unity, each piece is designed with this idea of holes pierced through the piece, which light travels and connects one piece to another. And the idea of my practice and my work, and one of my early fascinations with pattern and surface design, is that pattern is a universal language since early days. It's something that connected us. And as you see, certain shapes and forms and motifs that travel, like the paisley pattern, which came from South Asia, and the meaning and the kind of form what's changed as it's travelled, and also the Bodhi leaf, which came from India with the first enlightenment of the Buddha, who was sat under the Bo tree, and the way the Bodhi leaf has changed its form and its meaning and been added on to lots of different cultures and different ways it's been actually used as a motif within those cultures and religious statements.